Going to a football match in the middle of pandemic feels like an undergoing endurance test in a reality TV show. A pre-match message instructs me to arrive at Hampden Park in Glasgow 3 hours before Scotland kick off against Czech Republic. I must wear a mask at all times. I'm locating only 2 weeks from my microphone to prospect, provided by the stadium and all the kids are not official. So Lorenzi Beggars were Vikings on flat taxi to keep me going. When I immediately turn up to stadium 3 hours early, the crowds are predictably sparse. The pub outside the ground overflowed with supporters wrapped in Scotland flag looked like a tempting alternative. But when I suggest to a steward that might go get a drink ahead of the game, a look of concern crosses her kindly face. Be careful which pub you're going to, she said. They will see you coming. What is she referring to? Could it be the dance book bag A4 size that I'm clutching? I have given my spare ticket to Rear Scott, my friend Alistair, but he's from Edinburgh, so also not 100% at home in Glasgow. We decide to take the advice and skip the pub. Inside the stadium, we encounter a fan in the largest tartan suit I ever seen, including a tiny tartan clutch bag. I pose for a photo with him, and he tells me I had it tailor-made, son. It fits me like a glove. It is not just COVID regulation that make this unique and peculiar football tournament. Euro 2020, as UEFA still insists on calling it, has also become sucked into the culture wars. Culture wars. National football team as symbol of the nation, but that is not a straightforward task at a time when national identity is so fiercely contested. The pressing issue for Scotland it is independent. For England it is race. For England it is race. English football team has decided to take the knee before matches as a protest against racism, but each time they do it, they are booed by a significant section of their own supporters. Even the government seems uncertain about how to respond. After hesitating for a while, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, condemned the booing and condemned, condemned the booing and urged players from the England but two members. After hesitating for a while, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, condemned the booing and urged fans to get behind the team. But two members of his cabinet, Jacob Rees-Mogg and Priti Patel, defended the protest, with Rees-Mogg suggesting that the protesters are not expressing racism but condemning the Marxist of Black Lives Matter movement. Patel, Britain's Home Secretary, was accused player of indulging in gesture and politics. Players from the England team whose pre-game press conferences are normally confined to discussing tactics, injuries and the atmosphere inside the camp, and now being asked to react Home Secretary. It would be natural to assume that cabinet ministers are better at politics than footballers, but the Johnson government has reason to be worried of the clashing with the England team. Last year, when it took Marcus Rashford over the extension of free school meal for poor families, the Manchester United and England board mobilized 1 million signatures behind the petition and forced the Johnson government to change tack. The 23-year-old Rashford preparation for Euro 2020 included a Zoom call with Obama, while plenty of tourists are prepared to grumble about the work in Rashford. None are willing to take him in public. The culture wars over football are not just happening in Britain. The multiracial Belgian team took the knee in Russia ahead of opening game. Multiracial Belgian team took the knee in Russia ahead of their opening game. It is also booed by the crowd. Doubtless the Russians also protest against Marxism. Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, one of the host nations for Euro 2020, has defended fans who visiting teams that took the knee, saying that Hungarians see the gesture as a provocation. Orban is himself a right-wing provocateur who has become a hero to the Trumpist right in America by issuing frequent warning about the obvious dangers of Europe being flooded by Muslims. But even some moderate conservatives are uncomfortable about footballers taking the knee. One prominent Tory thinker in Britain laments to me that football has been a political sport, but now the national team has become a source of division. I can see what it means. This year's tournament inevitably brings back memories of Euro 96, when England forward mobilized and when England also played their games at Wembley and the whole country did seem to get behind the team in a complicated sort of way. Back then, packed the stadium, all joined in the singing of two lions. Football's coming home. Now the stadiums are largely empty and some of the home crowds are actually bringing the players. As somebody who has been to many England games over the years, I know that the idea that the team was never mixed up with politics or race is an illusion. England games have always attracted a substantial number of solid hooligan and far-right supporters, whose trademark chant is "No surrender to the RA." At the last European Football Championship in France in 2016, the ugly tradition of English football hooliganism re-emerged. When I remarked to another fan that I hadn't particularly enjoyed being caught up in a riot outside a bar in Marseille, I was told curtly, "If you don't like it, you should stay at home and watch the game on television." Football ground in the 1970s was also where I saw the most over racing that I ever witnessed in Britain. It was routine to see black players bark Bibles and monkey noises. The football authorities and commentators were silent about this for many years. So if the national side felt they want to make a statement about racism, it is hard to accuse them of doing place intellectual mistake. But now the national team has for the six. Identity issues are rather different for Scotland. Your trained Cranley comes as a Scottish government ramping up the for second independence referendum. This is the first major international tournament the team has qualified for since 1998, neatly fitting the narrative of a national revival. Arriving in Scotland for the first game of the tournament, I find the local paper full of optimism. In recognition of the enormity of the occasion, the Scottish government has even allowed schools without lessons to allow the kids to watch the game against Czech Leafs. As a visiting English fan, I wonder how I feel about all this. I grew up supporting Scotland in big international tournaments. I had little options since England failed to qualify for the World Cup of 1974 and 1978. But British identity was less complicated back then. The anthem played for the Scotland side that lined up to play Brazil in 1974 was "God Save the Queen", although the two recordings do not show the Scottish player looking particularly delighted. Today, the crowd and team will be belting out "Flower Scotland" with the stern word that we can still rise now and be the nation again. When Scotland qualified for the World Cup in 1973, there were more than 90,000 people inside Hampden. But today, thanks to COVID, it's a little over 9,000. Far from the joyous return to the big time that has been advertised, it feels pretty black and lonely in the stands, even if the Tartan army has been reduced to a little more than a battalion. They built up loud Scotland, loud enough to drown out conversation. The team started the game with all the expected pressure and stream forward. Their captain Andy Robertson can be seen gesturing to his player to calm down. Then the Czechs score and the air is sucked out of the stadium. At halftime, Richard Choo spent the toiling next to the hand dryer, the warmest spot in Hampden. There is hopeful chatter around the urinal that Scotland might still be able to turn this round. But early in the second half, football history is made by the Czechs. Patrick Schick, the team centre forward, gets the ball on the halfway line. Please. Float the ball over the Scottish by the Czech. Patrick Schick, the team centre forward, gets the ball on the halfway line and floats the ball over the Scottish goalkeeper into the net. It is one of the most brilliant goals any of us will ever witness. The crowd is now almost totally silent, apart from a tiny group of cheering Czechs on the other side of the stadium, and a group of children near me who continue happily shouting for Scotland, while the others around them are frozen in horror. After the match, Alastair reminds me that Scottish fans are used to bitter disappointment. Making the national football team a symbol of the nation is double-edged sword. We imagine them scoring wonderful goals and celebrating the fans. But what if your goalkeeper ends up floundering flat on his back, tangled up in the net? Euro 2020 has already delivered humbling setbacks for two football mad populist leaders. Urban gave permission for capacity crowd to attend Hungary's opening games in Budapest against Portugal, only to see the national side lose 3-0. Recep Erdogan, president of Turkey, traveled to Azerbaijan and sat in a place of honor in the stand next to Preston, from where he was able to see Turkey go down to a 2-0 defeat against Wales. England fans also have a heavy disappointing their most ardent fans. The side often portrays an embodiment of what we like to believe are national characteristics: courage, calmness under pressure. In fact, as a recent piece by Jonathan Leo in The Guardian pointed out, England are uniquely bad at holding a lead in a tournament. The numbers seem to suggest they might even be battlers. And they all have seen the French and Italians are much better at holding their nerve when they take a lead. If Gareth Southgate, the England manager, can somehow break this cycle and turn England into winning outfit, he will inadvertently provide a huge boost to Johnson government that is desperate for symbol of the success of Brexit Britain. But Southgate has subtly but unmistakably positioned himself to the left of the government, taking the knee. He leads a multiracial team and has continually defended the right to make statements on subjects other than football. It hasn't become accepted wisdom in Britain that cultural wars always work better for the right than the left, but football may be an exception. Poll taken across Europe for your 2020 showed the fifth. Could you please reply on for Southgate? The England making some break this up and turning and winning it advertently provide huge boost to Johnson government that is desperate for symbol of the success of Brexit Britain. But Southgate has subtly but unmistakably positioned himself to the left of the government, taking the knee. He leads a multiracial team and has irreverently defended their right to make statements on subjects other than football. It has become accepted wisdom in Britain that culture wars always work better for the right than the left, but football may be an exception. A poll taken across Europe before Euro 2020 showed 50% of English football fans supported taking the knee, with 39% of polls. If the England team keep winning, the number in favor may rise along with the team's popularity. But once the right may find itself on the wrong end of culture war for the duration of Euro 2020, I will care much less about who wins the culture war than who wins the tournament. For Scotland, Euro 2020 began with a deflating debate. The England team disappointed their fans almost as reliably as the Scots, just slightly later in the day. On the other hand, this is a real tournament. It's taking place in the middle of pandemic. The stadiums are quarter full, and England uniquely bad at holding a lead. England are playing half decently. I am allowing myself to for the weirdest outcome of the lot, an England victory.